Feels good to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, man. It's your boy Type R87, aka Carlos Fernandez. Gamer by choice, not by trend. And want to address a couple of things. And get some things out the way in regards to this gaming community, especially with these Xbox fanboys. And yeah, man, it's always been a hell of a ride just being on Twitter, talking to people, taking laughs, trolling the crap out of people as well. But as of lately, this gaming community has turned nothing but, I don't know, how can we put it? This gaming community has turned into a plausible circus show. Plausible circus show where fanboys think that they have every right to try to make false statements into actual facts. I never understood why these logic based opinions can correlate to actual facts. So, as you may know, on Twitter, I go by the Twitter handle just me and my girls four, and I have a little bit of a following on Twitter. I have a couple of people on my Twitter thread that you know are PlayStation fans and are general gamers in the gaming community. And I also have friends such as the Ashen Luca, Ryan the Professional, All Day Digital, J Dub Kratos, Jay Fonzarelli, Craig Harris, and a couple more Xbox enthusiasts that I also follow on Twitter who happen to be gamers as well. Rand Thor. And to my knowledge of gaming, gaming is about having fun. Gaming is about enjoying yourself. Gaming is about pure form of entertainment through the expression of art by the developers. But unfortunately, now this day and age, we have the social media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, and so many others. And with these social threads, you have certain individuals that like to take upon themselves to try to push the I'm better narrative upon everybody else's preference of said console, company, and genres within those games as well. And to my knowledge, or to my way of thinking, everybody has the right in order to play whatever they want to play. Everybody has the right in order to give an opinion on anything, especially when it's negative or positive. But apparently there are some gamers within the community, especially the Xbox gamers, that like to point names, like to point out fallacies, and overall like to point out lies about a certain demographic of PlayStation gamers on Twitter. As of recently, for the past 2 days, I've been on Twitter, doing my usual thing, having fun, trolling, because that's what I do, man. I have fun trolling, but I troll in a different way. I don't troll to subjectify physical aspects of the person. I don't troll to subjectify racial backgrounds. I don't troll to subjectify anything. What I do on Twitter, I troll to subjectify common sense and logic, which has always been my thesis when I'm on Twitter. But you see, there are certain individuals on Twitter that don't see that they rather use racial slurs, they rather downplay a community of players through bullying, they rather use death threats and acts of violence for a piece of plastic. For a piece of plastic that when you die, you're not taking it with you. And it's funny how these so-called quote unquote Xbox gamers go on Twitter trying to play the victims of their own doing. Try to play the victims of really just being asinine towards anybody. Asinining comments that are practically redundant. You see, there are certain individuals on Twitter that like to push that I bleed green narrative to everybody else. That I am an American and I support American products to everybody else. But guess what? That's not the case here. That is not solely the case. Because for the past 5 years or so, which would be quite soon, November, the Xbox brand has put out their third gen console, which is the Xbox One. And ever since the PS4 was introduced back in the same time as the Xbox One, we have this power narrative that's been pushed to the breaking point where you have people going on live streams peeing on a PS4 console. You got guys going into a Best Buy parking lot, stalking customers to warrant a purchase of a plastic box. You also have fanboys, Xbox fanboys, selling the propaganda of a false narrative to reassure themselves that their console is doing better than the competition. And quite frankly, it's quite the opposite. For about 3 years or so, the narratives have been changing. The narratives have been put in a different perspective and limelight where certain individuals try, as much as they might, try to downplay key successful moments in Sony's perspective by shunting the fact that, I don't know, Uncharted 4 is one of the highest rated Metacritic scored games of its genre. Trying to compare the Tomb Raider series to Uncharted, which in reality they fall in the same action adventure category, but they have different but to similar gaming mechanics. The only difference is the artistic view and the way the environment for both games differ from one another. And then we have the rancid fanboys. The rancid fanboys that, when being presented with facts, They try to dismay or acknowledge their wrongdoing. And I'm going to point out a couple of key points into why I'm doing this live stream today and why am I, going this route in order to not use any kind of profanity to point these people out because I will be stooping to their level and I'm not that type of person. On Twitter, on the other hand, I do what I do. I play around, I joke around, I troll around, and I have fun. But on a live stream, for the common courtesy and respect of the individuals, I'll keep it clean. But I will point them out by their Twitter handles and exactly to what statements they have made towards against the PlayStation fans. So on my Twitter, I had posted up a reply to Verdict 4489's poll on who's the most toxic gamers in the gaming community. Then, to my surprise, the poll said PlayStation gamers. It surprised me because I know that poll was only voted by Xbox fanboys because they feel the need to reassure themselves that Sony players are the most toxic in the community. Let me reiterate this. You have grown men in their latter 40s to early 50s, going into Best Buy parking lots and stalking people to warrant a purchase of a console. You have grown men, lather 40s and 50s, creating propaganda over that little console that you see right there, that little Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. You have grown as men going after a demographic of people, whether they be from Japan, Latin America, or whatever parts of the world, and use racial slurs against them because they don't support the Xbox brand. And it's really funny how when being, put on the seat for everything that they have stated and for everything that they have been doing for the lather of 5 years as Xbox gamers, I'm not surprised, man. I'm really not surprised because the fanboy logic never ceases to amaze anybody, especially myself. That I call myself a fanboy to a certain extent, but I'm a fan of gaming. I'm not a fan of brands. Yes, that I prefer to play on PlayStation. Yeah, is my preferred console. But does that mean that I have to only support Sony? No, it doesn't. That I like Sony PlayStation games? Yeah, I have a large library of PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 games. It so can be said for my Xbox games, and so can be said for the other consoles that I own, both physically and digitally. I'm not a brand fan. I support gaming for what it is and what it brings me for my enjoyment. I support gaming because gaming to me is a gateway to release stress in reality. I support gaming because it brings people together from different multitudes and different backgrounds. I support gaming because as a kid, man, I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. And I played on the Nintendo, I played on the SNES, I played on the Sega Genesis, I played on the Neo Geos, the 3DOs, you name it, even Jaguar, Ataris, old school, even 1970 pre consoles. I played on that. while I was young. And I was always fascinated at the style, at the imagination that these developers came up just to entertain us, the gamers. It fascinated me. And it still does, even to this day, even with the new iterations of the new gen consoles, the level of detail and the level of imagination that these developers take these games to, it's remarkable. But aside from that, I don't know, this community is lacking that substance of unity. It's lacking the substance of togetherness. It's lacking the substance of just being friendly amongst one another, regardless of the differences or regardless of what you prefer to play on. I remember growing up, going to my cousin's house, even to my friend's house, even if they had a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis or a Jaguar or Atari or whatever console they had in their house. And I just remember just enjoying myself sitting down and sharing my opinions about the games that they played on their preferred console. I didn't have no blind eye to just one platform. To me, all platforms are equal to one another. Yes, they have their own differences, they have their own techniques, they have everything different from each other, but the end result from those consoles and from those companies is to provide you with entertainment, is to provide you with an escape to a fantasy world where you feel comfortable at, where you feel like yourself, where you enjoy yourself being in that character and just playing the game, man. But you see, right along the way, these players or these supposed gamers on YouTube and Twitter have lost that way. They have lost the essence of what a true gamer is. They have lost the essence of just bringing togetherness to the community, regardless of racial decree, regardless of religion, regardless of sexual orientation, regardless of anything what they are. They have lost that perspective. They have lost the perspective of just being a gamer. They have lost the perspective of sharing with other people the enjoyment, the pure enjoyment of gaming. This generation, as of right now, it is the worst generation in terms of unity, in terms of social aspect, and in overall terms of human interaction. It is the worst generation by far. Yes, that we have these social media outlets that support these toxic behaviors. Yes, there's no denying that. But what I do take upon myself is to try to deviate from using any kind of reprehensible analogies against people, especially people that enjoy gaming, man. Because, you know, everybody, child, grown up, old, doesn't matter. They all love gaming. Heck, yeah, Cyber Dragon, I feel you on that, man. I know. It allows us, it allows a lot of people to be in another different place, other than just being in a place where you always have to constantly look over your shoulder, or even feel like you're being threatened by somebody because you're playing on a preferred platform. Like, I really don't understand that crap no more. But to no avail, man. This generation is just it lacks that essence of unity. It really does. And I'm gonna touch on a little topic that I had on the other day. Well, that recently happened today, and it was on a thread by Verdict 4489's poll about the most toxic gamers in the community. And by no surprise, most Xbox gamers stated that PS4 or PlayStation fans are the most toxic, when in reality, it's quite the opposite. When in reality, the most toxic group in gaming has been the Xbox side. Why do I say this? Because you got certain individuals within that gaming community that have made very, 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 very messed up decisions and been very public about what they think about people. I mean, just look an example. Look at Mooch. Mooch tweeted out that he would rather have killed each and every single Sony PlayStation owner with a bullet in a gun. I don't know about you, but I find that very, very disturbing for a person to even take it to that extremity for a console, rather a plastic box with wires and electrical tape, to even go to that route of trying to take human life over a console. I find that very disturbing. And I mean, no disrespect to Mooch, but I just find that very disturbing. I find it very disturbing that you have people like Live Wires who actually made a comment about burning people's houses. What's good, Cali Rex? What's good, man? How you doing? You got people like Live Wires who actually stated to to find enjoyment in burning people's houses over his preferred platform. That's very disturbing, man. What happened to this gaming community? Where's the unity? You have other players that'll be on social media, and I'm gonna point one out from my example of said thread with a Verdicts 4489's Twitter thread. You got guys like Nocturnal Nubian who made a false statement in regards to a PlayStation fan. Now, if I can recall, there was a article on TMZ back in nah, that's a regular LED Samsung 1080p 60 hertz TV, bro. 50-inch. Got a Sony Blu-ray home theater system. And as you can see, the Xbox 360 there. My OG Xbox is right there, my Nintendo Wii, and then my cable box. And then everything else that I play on is on my actual desk right here, Cali Rex. But going back to what I was about to say, yeah, this dude, Nocturnal Nubian, answered a reply to a fellow that I actually replied to. And I believe the name of the fellow, let me see if I can look him up on Twitter just to see where I replied to this person. Here it is. Oh my God. But these individuals, right? As I stated, Spectre XR1, PS4 dudes threatened to kill Tomb Raider voice actress because Rise was a timed exclusive to Xbox. Nuff said. Let me get this straight. PS4 dudes threatened to kill Tomb Raider voice actress over Rise. First of all, that Tomb Raider game wasn't even Rise of the Tomb Raider. It was just a regular Tomb Raider that came out for 2013. Rise of the Tomb Raider came out in 2015. So right there, this guy has made an analogy of a PlayStation fan with an old thread from November 16th, 2013. So I proceeded to give a reply to Spectre XR1. The article was on TMZ. The article was stated by TMZ. So as you can see, if you go and search up for death threats to Tomb Raider voice actress, you can actually see in the fine print where where it states right, that the people that were involved in those death threats were not actually they were not actually gamers. They were fans of the Tomb Raider movie. They didn't want Miss Camelia Luddington to be in a movie, not the video game, the movie, the Tomb Raider film. It stated it right in that article. Now, those pertaining to those individuals that were in that article, it was never found whether they were PlayStation fans or any gaming fans. From what I read from that article, which I'm gonna try to pull up, pull it up in my Google search, and I'm gonna read out actual statement from TMZ, which was 11/16, 2013. The headline states, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider star, someone wants to kill me. 11/16, 2013, 12:40 a.m. Pacific time. Okay? All right? Here's what the article stated and what happened within the contents of this threat. The woman who's the voice and avatar for the Lara Croft character in the Tomb Raider video game, okay? The Tomb Raider video game has been threatened with death. TMZ has learned Camelia Luddington is now a big part of the franchise. And someone has clearly taken notice. Camelia received a message on her Twitter account last month saying if she didn't immediately pull out of the latest Tomb Raider production, she was going to die. Camelia was then inundated with threats, including you have 24 hours to leave the film Tomb Raider, TR, okay? It was abbreviated TR. The film TR. If not, we will go and kill. We are observing. Okay? It's time today at 12:15. We will kill. You will die, Camelia. Now, even though this is a little bit disturbing for me to even myself to read, for myself as a person, no, I know, Cali Rex. I know. It's just. I'm trying to point out exactly, exactly what's wrong with the feeble-minded dudes that are on Twitter. I know, I know that for a fact. There's some things on TMZ that doesn't make no sense whatsoever. But I'm trying to point out a point here because this guy, Nubian Nocturnal, came at the wrong subjective term when it came to the subject because he stated that it was a PlayStation fan that made those threats. And clearly, when you search up that specific article, it states the same exact format of which it was written. You go for Tomb Raider voice actress 2013 death threats. That's just the way I searched it up. That's the way I went on about it. And it only gave me that specific article. That's the very first article that pops up. And I kind of, went on about and reading the article and seeing what it stated. And in no where in the fine print of that article did it state whether the fans were actually PlayStation fanatics? It did not. But you got people like Spectre XR1 and Nubian Nocturnal that say otherwise without having any valid proof. And that's my point exactly, Khaled Rex. But you know what? That's how it is. And shout out to Timefall, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for showing up. Hey, try to join us on the RGT this Friday if you can, Timefall. But these guys, right? Both these individuals stated that Sony fans were the ones responsible for making those threats without having any valid proof, without having any logical backing to this statement. All they did was just talk out their mouths and made false pre-stated opinions about something that never concurred with a PlayStation fan. Let me repeat that again. It never concurred with any PlayStation fan. It was simply fans of the film of Tomb Raider that felt the need, okay, or the want to draw attention to themselves and draw attention to the situation and make it seem that they were going to do something about it. At any time that a threat is made, yeah, I'm pretty sick. I'm pretty sick and fed up too, Cali Rex. You don't understand, bro. Like, I have fun on Twitter just trolling with facts. I don't even try to even say that fans, Xbox fans, or Xbox this. I try my hardest, but it's so obvious. Excuse me, it's so obvious that they always have this hidden agenda to try to use that I am the superior gamer because I play on the Xbox. I'm the superior gamer because I say this goes this way because I said so. Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing, bro? And quite frankly, bro, I'm getting tired of just listening to this and like even reading some of the comments from these individuals on Twitter. They're like really rhetorically that backwards in their thinking. They are. They don't really use any kind of common sense in order to make their statements valid. But the funny part about that is that every time we bring facts to the actual debate, they run away from it and they hide from those actual facts. They do the oh, but Xbox is selling this amount or Microsoft made this amount. Bro, Microsoft and Xbox are two different divisions. Yes, that Microsoft owns Xbox, it owns Xbox. Yes, that is known. But the division where Xbox is at, it is a gaming division. Yeah, man, that Black Cat DLC, that shit was lit, man. It was lit. It was a good stream. And shout out to my boy Ryan, man. Shout out to everyone in the chats right now, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining me at this late at night and just just hanging out with me. I'm just putting my perspective on certain things that I've been viewing on Twitter and just overall just trying to put my insight into it. But shout out to everybody that's in here right now. But like I was saying, man, these guys they just want to push that agenda. They just want to push the I am the better gamer agenda when in reality, bro, nobody pays you. Nobody pays you to be a gamer. You're a gamer on your own. Now, if you was competing in e-leagues or multiplayer leagues where they have an abundance of a big audience and they do live streams where they see you play and show off your skills, then yeah, you could say I'm a better gamer. But even then, you still have people that play better than you any given Sunday. It doesn't matter whether you think you're better than the next person. There's always going to be another person that actually has a better skill set or better insight of the game than you. There's always going to be that one person. I've met a lot of people on Call of Duty Black Ops 3 that have played better than me, that have better kill to death ratios than me. And I acknowledge that. The only thing I don't acknowledge is the fact that you got some of these guys that go into, Twitter on the chats and try to play it off like they are the beast of the beasts in the gaming community when they not. That's when my whole iteration is at with this I'm the dominant player figure. When you're really not, man. There's always gonna be somebody that's better than you at anything. Doesn't matter. It's just some people practice and do more repetitive practicing than others. And that's just the natural effect of becoming a better gamer. But anyways, not going back, not trying to stray away from my topic. But these gamers, man, when it comes to facts, they run away from it. They hide from it. They will do anything in the world to try to hold the W for no reason. Just admit the fact that you made a stupid statement and move on. That's all you got to do. Ain't no need to be dropping no F bombs on me because I brung facts to you. Ain't no need for me to stoop to your level and start cursing you out. And that's where the problem is at. Because once you bring the facts, they'll stoop low to cursing you out. They'll stoop low to calling you racial slurs. They'll stoop low to say anything about you, diminutively about your features or your physical appearance or anything that is not within the topic or the context. They'll stoop that low. Oh man, y'all talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, huh? That's what's up, man. But it's just the same thing, man, over and over again. And I'm kind of getting fed up with the Xbox fanboys on Twitter. I'm getting fed up with people not trying to point out the fallacies within their own logic. I'm tired of that. It's time for us as gamers, especially the ones that are on Twitter, just to come together and just say, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Stop it. There's no need to argue about a plastic console. There is no such thing as a console war. The console war was an imaginary thing made up by a bunch of yuppies who preferred the Xbox brand and turned it into that, a console war. Back when I was growing up in the 90s, we didn't care, man. We just played on whatever. We went to our friend's house and we played on whatever console was available at that moment. But once again, these guys don't understand that. They understand that if you're not making sales, you're not number one. And quite frankly, bros and my sisters, I really don't give two damn you know what about it. I really don't give a damn about it. Why? Because I enjoy gaming as a whole. I mean, where should I start, man? My collection is a little bit up there. But as you can see, come on, man. What I really hate Xbox, what I really distaste my liking to games over a color of the brand, no, I wouldn't. Why? Why? Because at the end of the day, you guessed it, I'm gonna have fun. Even if it's a childish game like Toy Story 3, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun, man. It is what it is. You gotta enjoy gaming for what it is, not for what what the console brand is, not because of come on, Gears of War 2. And I bought this on release date when it came out. I bought this game on release date. Come on, man. Like these dudes don't understand. Look, 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 look. Wow, even the venerable Halo 4, I still have it. Still play it on my 360. I don't play it on my Xbox One because I don't find it to be the case to use it for backwards compatibility when I can play it on my old consoles that are still functioning. Come on, man. Yo, anybody in the chat, y'all remember this, man. Look at that. Come on, man. I'm a gamer, man. I play my games. I don't just fucking go on about trying to act like if I got the best of the best stuff, man. Look, come on. I got games that I played, man. I got titles that I played. I even go as far as back, man. Let me see if I can find my old shit here, man. See if I can find some old shit. I got a little favorite one for you, Brian. And I hope you like this little oldie but goldie one right here. Come on. Burnout. Burnout, man. I enjoy gaming, and this is the whole emphasis of being of what I call myself every time, every time when I go on the RGT podcast and when I say that line, that memorable line, gamer by choice, not by trend, is because I emphasize that on myself every single time I sit on that chair and turn on my console and enjoy my games. You feel me? That's just the way I am, man. I don't look at because it's on Xbox is better than the PlayStation 3. I don't look at it as if it's on Xbox One X, it's gonna be better than the PS4. Because guess what? Most third-party games, especially the newer ones, all play and look the same as the competitors. You have a lot of these dudes on Twitter just being very diminutively dumb to state that just because the Xbox has a higher resolution than the PS4 Pro, it's the better version. Okay, visually it might look better, but does it change the game mechanics? Does it change the title of the actual game? Because I could pull out two perfect examples, two great perfect examples of the same game but with different features. This one came out first for the 360. This one came out for the PS3, right? They're both Ridge Racer 6 and Ridge Racer 7. They both have similar cars within the game, but they both share the same physics engine. They both share the same design. They both share everything that it is about a racing arcade game. But you got xbots that'll say because if it's a third party multiplayer game, a third party game, that it changes because it'll play better on the Xbox. Battlefield 3, I bought this on release date on the PlayStation 3. I played it on both the PlayStation 3 and the 360. I had the PS3 version. My brother-in-law had the Xbox 360 version, and I used to go to his house and play it on the 360, and I still whooped ass on the multiplayer on the 360, regardless if I was on the PS3 or on the 360. So it doesn't change the fact that it's still Battlefield 3, 2, 1, or even the newest one that's going to come out. It doesn't change nothing. The only thing that changes is just the visuals. But it still is a first person shooter. It's still Battlefield. It's still the same game. So this whole 4K, 4K this, 4K that, it doesn't really matter, man. What really matters is the game plays good. What really matters is if you're enjoying yourself playing the game. Same can be said for Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They're all the same Tomb Raider games. It doesn't matter whether you play it on any set console. And like I said, man, I still got some, still got some little oldies in here and there from my Xbox days when I purchased the OG Xbox. But when I bought the Xbox, it was just to play their exclusives. It was just to play the Halos, the Gears, Forza, because that's the only thing that they had to offer at that moment. Oh, not even that. Titanfall. You really want to see my little collection, man? I still got a couple little things in here. There goes Ridge Racer 5, right? Here goes the original Ridge Racer. The original Ridge Racer. Metal Gear Solid VR missions, right? Rage Racer. And Ridge Racer Type 4. Like I said, man, I've been gaming all my life. It's been my go-to for everything in terms of, you know, depression, because I did at one point in my life had a little bit of depression going on when I was younger, dealing with the peer pressures and stress of being in high school. And that's just the normalcy that you find when you play video games. That's just the normalcy that you need to find when you play your games. You want to feel that escape. And that's what these Xbox dudes don't understand. That just because I play on PlayStation doesn't mean I'm different from you. Yeah, the different perspectives is that they're different brands, but they do the same function. They provide you games and software for you to just have that escape. That's about it, man. There's nothing else to say that's different from one the other. They're both gaming companies. They both provide the same, just about the same thing. But yet you got these dudes thinking that is the other lather. You're supposed to be a hardcore Xbox gamer and a hardcore PS4 gamer because you support the brand. Fine, support the brand, but don't support the behaviors. Don't support the toxic behaviors. Don't support the negative things that bring out the worst in people. Don't support that. Support the positives. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you playing your games? Nah, man. Right, hey, yo, we all gamers by choice, not by trend, bro. Anybody can use that. I mean, I might just copyright it one of these days when it gets a little bit bigger. But everybody in here, man, is family to me, man. Everybody's a gamer by choice, not by trend. There are certain individuals that do not choose to be gamers, rather be trendy ones. But overall, everybody's a gamer in my eyes. It doesn't matter what walk of life you come from, where you come from. You could come from Zimbabwe, bro. and you play games, more power to you. You could come from Hong Kong, more power to you. You could come from anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. As long as you find the enjoyment of being a gamer and realizing that, that's what matters the most. That's where it's supposed to be at in reality. But like I said, man, there are some people that just really don't. What I think about Colt Eastwood, it's funny that you asked me that, Titanfall. I personally, I don't hate the guy. I know that he's trying to, earn his bread by becoming a YouTuber, a YouTube creator. I have no quarrels with him. He did block me on Twitter, yeah, once because I got a little bit under his skin. But overall, I'm not really could care less about what he thinks. What I do find it very misleading is the way he uses or emphasizes his content in order to push a false narrative for the Xbox brand to make it look better than everybody else's when in reality that's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. Say can be said by Crap Gamer, Mooch, and everybody else. They're creating content because they gotta eat. Practically, they gotta create content in order to stay relevant within the YouTube parameters, and that's the best way they can do it. They do it by propaganda and using false narratives in order to bring in blind sheep. That's the way they make their bread. But me, I do this because I love gaming. I could care less about making money on YouTube. I have a 9 to 4. Well, a 2:30 to 10:30, which is what I do every single day. I go to work at 2:30 in the afternoon, come home at leave the job at 10:30, and then I'm home by like 12. So I really don't need YouTube as much as I would like to make content for, but I really don't need it at this moment. But going back to Colt, I think he's a very misleading person. He misrepresents the Xbox brand in a very, very peculiar way. He's a he has great content in terms of the overall design, uh, the way he plays the guitar, the presentation. It's top notch, but it's just that little fanboy logic in his content that just really draws me away from watching any of his videos and even trying to even go to any of his content because to be honest, he lies a lot. He lies a lot, a whole lot. Even on Twitter, he lies so much that it's not even funny. Dealer Gaming, he's a cool cat. I'll give him a nod for, for trying to keep it real. He did at some point had his little nuance of just making lies, but now he's just done a full 180 and realized that it's not selling no more to the crowd, man. Everybody's catching on to this fanboy logic. Yeah, he does. He has very top notch editing, Cali Rex. It's just that hidden agenda and that bias in him that makes his content not so great. Yes, you might have 40 plus thousand subscribers, but you're lying through your teeth, bro. I can't be that type of person. I have to be the type of person that if I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it straight and true, and I'm gonna keep it to that point. If I don't like something, I'm gonna point it out, and that's just the way I am. You might catch me in the RGT putting out certain points about the Xbox brand, but that's because the way I view things from my perspective as a gamer about the Xbox brand. Not that is you know, the whole enchilada, the whole entire equity of the Xbox brand, but there's certain negatives in the Xbox brand that I really don't like, especially that little paywall that they have behind Fortnite, because they were pushing Sony to do the whole crossplay, right? So whatever happened to bringing down the paywall on a free to play game, especially one like Fortnite, especially one like Warframe and Warface, a whole lot of games that are free to play that are easily locked in a paywall by Microsoft. But you got guys like Colt, K Mega that support these practices because it brings in the fans. It brings in the blind loyal fans into their YouTube channels. And that's where it all falls down. They want to lead the blind to a false, false goal. And that goal is never there. That goal can never be achieved because within that fine line, the truth is always going to get exposed. And quite frankly, I have nothing against these guys. They're they're in YouTube to make money. I'm not in YouTube to make money. I'm in YouTube to spread my knowledge, to spread information. I'm on YouTube to enjoy myself as a gamer, as one of the flock in this very, very crazy world in gaming. I'm not here to tell you that you should buy the One X because it has better resolution than the PS4 Pro. Or I'm not here to tell you buy the PS4 Pro because the games are better on the PS4 Pro. No, I'm not here to do that. I'm here just to simply point out the negatives and positives and give a little bit of a taste of opinion on what I see unfolding behind those lines. So yeah, man, it's I don't know. This whole gaming industry and the way things are being set forth is really toxic. And I hope next gen it changes a little bit more. I'm not saying that it will, because it's going to be a continued trend on to the next gen, but at least the playing field to which we are seeing is going to be a little bit even. So it's going to be based solely on the developers to make these games a little bit different from one another, especially the exclusives for Xbox or the next iteration of the next Xbox console. It's really down to the developers and the way they take the approach into making these games unique from one another. But you see, that's what I like to do. I like to give that thorough feedback, not the fake feedback that people think, oh, wow, 2160p is better than 1440p. If I was to show you a 1440p image with a 4K image, you will notice just slight differences in clarity. But if I show you the actual details within those images, you will be astounded at how unsimilar they are from one another. But you got guys like the Best Buy stalker, Beast Fire Tim Dog, who say otherwise, that 4K is better than 1440p, or that 1440p is better on the X than 1440p on the Pro. When in reality, it's the same resolution, Tim. It's the same exact resolution. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes is probably the variations of colors. Hey, what's up, Garuda? Wait, what? Live stream? Time to troll? I mean, ain't that many people here to troll on, but if you feel free to, give me a little like on that little button, I'll gladly appreciate it. That's good to hear, Garuda, man. Good to see you too, man. But yeah, man, this whole misinformation and using this shit just to, oops, did I curse? My bad. But yeah, man, this whole misinformation, it is really the main emphasis for these Xboxes. They're trying to push that emphasis of being the better console by making false statements. And if you go on Twitter, man, don't look no further. Check out Smokey Dog. Smokey Dog is going at it with Tim the Beast Fire Dog over resolution, over clarity of picture from a game that's already on the PS4 Pro and is on the Xbox One X. And regardless if it's 1440p on the Xbox One X and 1440p on the Pro, the only minor differences is just textures and I believe certain artifacting artifacting differences that the games use. One might use super sampling, the other might use FXXA. It's so many different things that can vary from one another. But at the end of the day, if it plays 1440p on the Pro, it's gonna play 1440p. Nah, man. I mean, if hey, you can say whatever you want, man. There's no, there's no indifference. But yeah, you could say that. Tim Dog is like a loose cannon, likes to push that narrative, but bro, all I gotta say is this to Tim Dog: when you become a meme of a naked guy with your face stamped on it, humping a 360, bro, you lost all integrity as a person. You have lost all integrity as a gamer, and most importantly, you lost all integrity in a whole. So yeah, oh man, but it's just funny how these guys, man, I'm telling you, these Xbots, they love pushing us. They love pushing the buttons. They love getting owned on Twitter and on any social platform. They love getting owned. And the funny part about it is like when you try to make a statement that's logical to them, that makes a whole lot of common sense, they try to clown you a little bit. They try to make it seem like as if you're wrong for what you're saying to me. When in reality, I shouldn't be wrong for what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Yeah, Garuda. They invented the letter L to themselves because every time you get on Twitter, man, or every time they get on a social platform, they receive nothing but L's, man. Nothing but L's. But they don't want to acknowledge those L's because they want to push the narrative of I'm on the better platform. And that's not the case, man. That's really not the case. You're not on the better platform. You're just playing on a console. That's all. That's the sad reality and truth. You're just playing on a console. There's nothing different from the PS4 to the Xbox. The only thing is the overall design of the outer case and the internals. That's the only difference within the gaming consoles. But they do the same function. They play video games. Oh no. Baron, he's the, how shall I put it? How can I categorize that Nintendo simp? That Nintendo simp Baron. I could categorize him as the spokesperson of L's. I could categorize him as the spokesperson because every time he goes on a BGST podcast, it's always that loud ass yelling over the mic. Like bro, Baron. I'm talking on the mic right now, and I don't have to yell that loud, and people could actually hear me. The eater of L's, yes, Ryan. He's very much more indeed the eater of L's. Lack Laren or EMP Bozo the clown. He's the eater of L's. And as of lately, I haven't been seeing him active on Twitter after a certain superhero took the MPD for September. Oh no, bro, Garuda. I think he puts more than just Nintendo Kool Aid in the punch, bro. It's a mixture of just chairs to the face, mixed with pile drivers, and that super Willie Maybach hairline with that big old 5'4" head that he got, man. Oh yeah, we already know that he did he did those Mr. Righteous Fish. He always does that. He takes the bets and then he just backs out and then states that it was never stated, but we already know, man. He can't handle the truth. That's why I kind of went at him at one point every time. I made it a point to make Baron my bitch on Twitter. Just put it like that. I made it a point to make Baron my bitch, even in the BGST podcast. Every time I go on the BGST podcast, I try to cut ass on the dude because yelling over the mic doesn't make it anything better, bro. Doesn't make you the better debater if you yell over the mic. You really don't need to yell over the mic in order to get a point across. As I'm sitting right now, can you guys hear me? Am I yelling too loud? Am I clear? Yes, I am very clear because you can hear everything that I'm saying. But if I'm like this over the mic, that's annoying, man. You're in a podcast. Nobody wants to hear that backyard wrestling bravado, musclehead antics, man. Nobody wants to hear that. Yeah, man, Cali Rex, they tried. They try to yell over other people in order to get their point across, but doesn't really give you the winning edge in a debate. You're just looking like a clown when you're yelling over the mic. You're looking like a how should I put it? Looking like a bozo, rather a bozo, a wrestling bozo, because that's exactly what Baron is, a wrestling bozo. Yes, that he has wrestling matches against good wrestlers and actually won a championship. Good for you, Baron. You know, but you still didn't get a WWE contract because that five head hairline that you got couldn't let you get into the front door, bro. Who takes more out? I don't know, man. It could be a tie between K Mega and Baron, to tell you the truth, honestly. It could be either or. They both have substantial L's. K Mega is just more redundantly, I don't know. How can I put it? K Mega likes to make statements without solid proof. That's what K Mega does. He likes to make a statement without solid proof and then tries to turn that around and make it seem that everybody's toxic. He tries to play the victim of his own demise when trying to be in the right. And that is the reason why they dubbed him El Mega. Because, come on, for you to say that Sea of Thieves is going to outsell God of War, yeah, yeah, that whole rise, bro. Don't even get me started on that crap. That was like the most asinining comment that I've ever heard or ever read on a social thread. God of War came out for the PS2 before Rise even was an idea by Crytek. So answer me this, and I hope you guys can answer me this. Where does Rise get anything, I don't know, from any other game? Oh yes, let me reiterate that. What did Rice copied from in order to be the template for this generation? Anybody? What did Rice template copied from? I could tell you pretty much it was on a PlayStation 2 game, and it involved the Coliseum in which all gladiators fought in, but you don't hear me talking about that. And that's what I mean. Like most of these games are carbon copies of one another. They copy certain things but change up certain designs within their mechanics. So Rise and God of War are two different structured games. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Mister Righteous Fish. I got Rise on my PC and it performs horrible. Hey, Garuda, you might be right. You might be right with that because there are certain similarities with a Heavenly Sword. And speaking of Heavenly Sword, man, let me see if I can find my Heavenly Sword. Oh, hold on. I got another oldie but goldie right here too. Speaking of Heavenly Sword, hmm? Oh, and what do you know? What do you know, man? It says Ninja Theory in the back. Wow, man. I think this game, if it would have held more better with time, and they would have had the better backing for funding, they could have made a sequel to this game because this game had actually good game mechanics. But unfortunately, it never fell through, and it got you know kicked to the can. But I got another one here too, man. I don't know if a lot of people still own one of these, but I still got this. I still have it, still in its original case with its original, items inside. And I don't know. But most of these gamers, man, they don't game, man. They just talk. They all talk. They don't play their games. They rather, you know, play the my company is better than your company. They rather spend my company is better than your company analytics and try to be, Nasdaq investors and all this other shit that they always try to push when they talk on Twitter. And y'all probably know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. You know the fake investors, the ones that try to say that since Microsoft has this much money, it could buy Sony. Uh, it could, but it can't because the name Sony is more synonymous than Microsoft. Sony has been out for a longer duration of time than Microsoft. So Sony's name has more worth than Microsoft's. And that is a known fact. That is a very known fact. But hey, I'm not an investor. I just read information. That's what I do. Hey, you're juggling Smite, Soul Calibur 6, and Call of Duty, bro. Come on, Garuda. You know better than that. You know better than that. But those are all two, those three games they're pretty okay. I'm just not too hyped for Call of Duty Black Ops 4 right now. I'm not feeling it right now. Not even gonna hold you, man. I'm not even gonna try to buy it. I'll wait till it goes to most of these gamers play AAA or what's popular games. How are you talking about money and not games? Mr. Righteous Fish, bro. That's the problem. That's the main topic that they always bring up when they talk about games. They always want to bring up the financial stability of those companies, they always want to brag about how much money Microsoft has over Sony, when in reality, that doesn't really matter. I could be the richest man on earth, right? Could be the richest person, have multiple companies. But if nobody's buying my product, I'm not gonna get no more money. I'm not gonna earn anything else. You see, this is something. This is basic economics, right? Microsoft's top selling revenue hardware sales are based on the Surface tablets right now in the market. They have the highest rated net profit through their PC and tablets platform. That's where Microsoft earns its most of its money. And that's something that most of these Xbox dudes don't really understand, that the Xbox brand has such a small diminutive effect on how much money Microsoft makes that it's not even funny. At any point in time, if Microsoft decides to sell the Xbox brand, they could sell it to any company and gain that money back that they spent throughout the years. And that's where these guys don't understand that Microsoft is a separate company from the Xbox brand. But yeah, man, I think I'm gonna cut this stream a little bit shorter than what I intended. I gotta get up early in the morning, go take my daughter to school. But hey man, it was a pleasure having you all seven of you. Don't matter to me if it was one or two, but all seven people here tonight, and just sharing the stream with me, man. Thank you for showing the support. Thank you for giving me the thumbs up. And hey, check me out on Twitter, just me and my girls four. And if you already know, RGT Podcast with your boy Ryan the Professional. And you know, big old shout out to the Titanfall Princess. We love you, Nancy. And hey, to everybody, you know, gamers in general, man. If you see something negative, if you see somebody trying to abuse anything, point them out, man. Let them know that you're not feeling it. Anyways, man, it's your boy Type R87, aka Carlos Fernandez. Gamer by choice. What's up, JP Loco? Gamer by choice, not by trend. And sorry, JP, but I'm gonna have to cut this short because I gotta get some sleep. Some sleep. But either ways, man, check me out on Friday with your boy Ryan the Professional on the RGT podcast. And check out the Titanfall Princess, Craig Harris, Jay Fonzarelli, and everyone that comes up to the RGT podcast, man. Anybody that wants to join in and share your insights, let me and Ryan know, and we'll accommodate you a slot where you can sit and just talk about gaming in period, man. Y'all have a blessed night. As always, gamer by choice, not by trend.